all about what you do, and your work speaks.
Sure.
If you speak a lot, your work will not be able to speak. So let the work do the talking rather than you doing it.
This week's guest on Questions I Wanted to Ask is a woman who holds the Limca Book of World Record for styling a sari in 325 different ways. Someone who's turned her passion of draping saris into a business, the celebrity sari draping artist Dolly Jain. Dolly and I spoke about how she realized sari draping could be a profession, a Bollywood legend who told her she should definitely take this up as a profession, and then her journey post that. She's someone who sometimes travels for work almost 20 days in a month. And in all of this, how does she manage to balance her life between traveling for work, her family, herself, her kids, and everything else that her heart desires? In this episode, she's also got some wonderful suggestions for women who are looking to do something of their own but do not know how to, want to take that first step up and get independent.
Dolly, welcome to Questions I Wanted to Ask. Thank you so much for coming. So tell me now, what is the day looking like in middle of just closing to Diwali, season time assuming? So there's stuff at home happening. There's stuff at what is your day looking like now? Days actually.
Nothing as such happening, because I'm a person who organizes my wardrobe, my house every day that I have even like a half an hour time. That, when people say it is Diwali, so you have to do cleaning, you have to do this, you have to manage this, and this is pending. There is nothing like that in my house. There is no work pending, because I'm a very cleanliness freak person. Okay. And I like to do all my wardrobes, now and then. So I think nothing as such is happening. But yes, a lot of drape ideas, because this Diwali I wanted to give a lot of my followers beautiful style of draping. So cracking my brains into giving them beautiful drapes, shooting. And I think shooting back to back is what is keeping me tied up these days.
And I believe you're also traveling for work in the next 2-3 days.
Lot. That's also for shoot, but traveling a lot, because, once you do when you do a destination shoot, the shoot comes out really beautiful. Yes. And it's always fun to do a destination shoot. So we're shooting outside.
Nice. Tell me, on the subject of my house is clean always. I mean, it's my pain point. For a woman who's working throughout and 365 days, especially on holidays, right? How do you kind of plan? What is your way of planning your house to be in perfect order?
I believe in keeping minimalistic things in my wardrobe. Sure. The things that I've not used for, say, about a year or maybe 8 months, I discard them and give it to the person who will cherish them. Sure. So whether it is clothes, or whether it is a bag, or whether it is cosmetic, anything which sure. I think I haven't used or I will not be using in further, your days to come, I just discard them and I keep myself in a very minimalistic order. So I think that's a very easy way to keep your house clean, other than piling up things and then thinking that, when Diwali will come or when I will get time, I will throw it off. I don't do that. So I think that's one way which I can keep my house and myself in organized way and tidy. And also I feel my work has taught me this, that because I travel a lot, I think if I travel heavy, then I just don't feel good about the whole idea. I travel light, I take minimalistic thing. And when I'm traveling to any place, like suppose I'm going to Kanpur or I'm going to Lucknow, I go and see what is speciality of that city. Sure. And then I pick up things from that city. I think that's how I'm updated with the thing also.
Tell me, Dolly, can you give me a little bit more idea about what your family is, how many people, all of that? The reason I'm asking is because I want to then correlate to your work, right? And I want to take a step back and talk about when you started draping, right? What was the family structure and what it is now, and how, just throw some light on that part of your life, because I know you've spoken about draping, and you've spoken about, everybody knows the kind of work that you're doing. But I think it's very important in the journey of a career woman's journey, right? That we equally talk about the family that's supporting, not supporting. I mean, I'm not even getting there, but I want to understand, how does it work with the family? Who all are there? How does a family function in case of a woman who's constantly traveling and working almost daily?
So it's my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, me, my husband, and two of my lovely daughters.
Sure.
They're grown up now. The elder one is 23. The younger one is 19. So it was very difficult initially. But now I think everybody has learned their own way. And it is good that they've traveled a rough road. So they are strong girls. And initially, yes, because being brought up in a Marwadi family, married into a Marwadi family, you know how the perception of a bahu is, a daughter-in-law is, that, okay, she will come, she will take care of the house, the husband will be taken care. Okay, you know, everything has to be perfect in place. Sau gun sampan type, you know, that's the image that they have for a female. But when I came, I did portray myself in that frame that they wanted, but I knew that I am here for some reason. I was looking for that reason, and I'm lucky to have found my reason.
Sure.
And eventually, when I started traveling, it did become very difficult. The situation was not as smooth as we think could be, whether it was with my mother-in-law or with my husband or with my kids.
Yeah.
But then one day I thought, instead of unnecessarily putting pressure into individual's brain and myself and harassing myself into it, what I did, the best thing was, one day all of us sat down, and then I spoke my heart out. I said, this is my work and this is what I have to do. Now tell me, how can I contribute, and what is your contribution into my role? So I think everybody understood that this is an art which I have in me and I have to excel. If I don't do this, I will somehow not feel, or maybe not give my 100% to the house also.
Sure.
So I think a big role was of my mother-in-law, who actually understood everything and changed the entire game plan of my family. Everybody took care of themselves. They were no more dependent on me. And now look at it, everybody is so happy with the kind of success that I've got. And somewhere or the other, I think it's a big contribution from there. And otherwise, I would have definitely done something. But to reach to a height like this, you need your family and you need that strong background. If your backbone is not strong, I think it is going to be really difficult for you to excel. And the kind of traveling, like you get a call in the night and you say, they just ask you to travel the next morning. My mother-in-law has gone to the temple and I'm off to Delhi or Bombay. She doesn't even know that I'm traveling. So she comes back, she figures out, okay, Dolly's left. So, you know, at times this also happens. I mean, but they've all adjusted and they've all very cooperated with me.
Dolly, मुझे एक चीज बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग लग रही है. So a lot of women that I talk to are homemakers, right? And most of the women now want to do stuff. They want to do something in their life. But हमेशा एक छोटे से शुरुआत होती है. आपने भी जब की होगी, when you started draping, nobody would have imagined the level that you've reached today, right? Nobody would have thought that this is the success that you're talking about. I'm sure it is different stages. And most of the women, when they start, right, they're not able to, first of all, convince themselves with whatever they're doing, and then their family that it is worth it, that even that small step is important. वो कैसे हुआ कि आपने फर्स्ट टाइम जब कन्विंस किया फैमिली को कि उनको समझाया या जो भी बताया कि ये छोटी सी चीज है, बिकॉज आई एम श्योर उस टाइम पे वो लेवल ऑफ ड्रेपिंग या वो लेवल ऑफ बिजनेस नहीं होता होगा जो आज है. व्हाट वाज दैट कन्वर्सेशन? मतलब वो क्यों कन्विंस हुए उस चीज के लिए?
So basically what had happened was I got married into a family जहाँ पे मुझे सिर्फ साड़ी ही पहनना अलाउड था. मतलब मैंने बहुत कोशिश किया, मेरे को लगा मैं अपने मदर इन लॉ को कन्विंस कर दूंगी, बट आई फेल्ड. शी वॉज लाइक वेरी एडमेंट, नहीं हमारे यहाँ तो साड़ी ही पहननी और आपको साड़ी ही पहनना पड़ेगा. So I was like, one day I went to my mother and I said, मम्मी ये क्या है, क्यों साड़ी पहनना पड़ता है रोज सुबह, मुझे 45 minutes लगते हैं ऑलमोस्ट to wear a sari and बहुत time waste होता है और उसके चक्कर में मुझे 1 घंटा जल्दी उठना पड़ता है and all of that. But my mother said a very good thing. She said, बेटा जो चीज मिला है ना उसी को सुंदर बनाने का कोशिश करो, उसमें से नुक्स निकालने से you will make your life a hell. यही चीज हम लोग गलती करते हैं. It's a very small thing, but then I think this is where we go wrong. We don't look at the good side of everything. We always crib of what we don't have. We don't cherish of what we have. So I think my mother taught me this very beautifully, that cherish what you have. And somehow I think I understood, because I was not a very rigid girl, and got married at a very early age. And you know how when you get married at an early age, वो कहते हैं ना मिट्टी अभी भी गीली है, आप उसको कैसे भी ढाल सकते, तो वही चीज हमारे साथ हुई. So I got married when I was 20, and by 21 I think I was a pro in draping saris. Whenever I used to drape a sari, मतलब मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मुझे सबसे ज्यादा कॉम्प्लीमेंट ही साड़ी में मिलते थे. जब मम्मी के यहाँ जाती थी मैं कुर्ते जरूर पहनती थी, बट मुझे वो वाव वाला जो एक फीलिंग आता था ना, वो बिल्कुल नहीं मिलता था. वो वाव वाली फीलिंग, you know, to dress up, to wear your jewelry, to actually do your makeup and look pretty, walk elegantly, talk politely, and all of those happens only when you're dressed up in a sari. That's what I feel. So ये conversation ऐसे हुआ कि after my second daughter was born, I had nothing to do, because I had very good staff for both my daughters, and they were very well taken care by my mother-in-law, the entire family. So there was like 3-4 girls from my complex who just came and said कि आंटी आप मुझे जैसा आप साड़ी पहनते हो आप मुझे सिखा दोगे क्या? And I said okay. So because I was free, I was doing nothing, I said okay, come over. So they came over, and I remember teaching them for 3 days, and I taught them so many styles which I myself didn't knew that I knew.
Okay.
So जब उनको सिखा रही थी तो मुझे लगा अच्छा ये भी एक ड्रेप है, oh we can do this also. So it was just happened, and I just completely forgot of it. But these girls, इनके मम्मी का मेरे पास फोन आया कि बेटा ये तो हमारे से भी अच्छी साड़ी पहन रहे हैं, and we are so glad that you've taught her. Okay. So among these 3 girls, there was one girl who got married in Raipur. So she was conducting a finishing school, like, you know, like a 10-day finishing course kind of a thing. In one of the days, she kept sari draping. So unka mere paas
sorry, what is a finishing course?
It's a finishing course. वो 10 दिन का एक course होता है जिसके अंदर आप cooking, dancing, hairstyling, makeup, you know, everything, like a grooming thing for a girl.
Okay.
उसमें उन्होंने you know साड़ी ड्रेपिंग भी रखा. So then she just called me up. She said, will you be comfortable in coming to Raipur to take a sari draping workshop for these girls? I didn't know what to do, and didn't even ask anybody. And I said, yeah, I will come. And I was so excited about the whole idea. And then I was nervous as well, क्योंकि मुझे लगा ना तो मैंने कभी किसी को प्रोफेशनली उस तरह से सिखाया है, और मुझे ये भी नहीं पता कैसी गैदरिंग होगी, क्या रिस्पॉन्स मिलेगा, because these 3 girls whom I taught, they were from my complex, and I knew these girls.
Comfort factor tha.
So I went, and you won't believe, the moment I walked in, I had 86 students.
Wow.
That was my first batch. I walk in, my face is showing I'm so confident and I'm so, you know, pro at it, and I know everything, but my whole body was shivering. I was so nervous because I didn't know what to talk. I didn't know कि मैं उनसे बातें क्या करूंगी, उनको क्या सिखाऊंगी, उनको एड्रेस कैसे करते हैं, क्या चीजें लेके जानी है, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था. लिटरली मेरे को ध्यान है कि जब पूरा क्लास कंप्लीट हो गया, इतनी अप्रिसिएशन मिली मुझे कि ये सारे लोग ऑर्गेनाइजर के पास गए और उन्होंने कहा कि प्लीज आप डॉली जी को बोलेंगे एक दिन और वो रुक के, हमें वो कोई सालसा क्लास नहीं करनी है, which was the next day class. Why don't you continue the draping course the next day also? We would want to do a hands-on, like we want to do one-on-one class with her. So I think that was somewhere a kick that gave me, okay, this thing has a potential and we can do as a fun thing. Not never thought that I'm going to take it up professionally. Okay, so that happened. I was very happy that everybody appreciated my work, and I came.
And you got paid for it?
Yeah, I did get paid for it. And you won't believe I got 10,000 rupees for 2 days.
Wow.
And I was like, and it wasn't about money, but then that 10,000 rupees was so special to me because that was something that I have earned out of an art, which I never was taught.
Sure.
I never did a course. There was no course happening. There was no school teaching sari draping. So I was a self-taught person. A self-taught person in her first batch teaching 86 students. That was like an achievement.
Sure.
Then I think for almost 6-7 months or a year, nothing happened. And I also wasn't very sure what I have to do. But it so happened that I went to Bombay and my mama stays in the building where Sridevi used to stay. I mean, Sridevi is still, the daughters are still there in the same building. So my mama had invited the whole building members for a small gathering. So Sridevi was also there. So her sari, something spilled on her sari and she went to, just do it, correct her pleats and all of those. And I followed her, being a die-hard fan of Sridevi. So the moment I walked in, she was like, I said, I'll do your sari. She said, no, but I will do it myself. Then I was like, no, but I want to do it. As if you're forcing yourself on her. I said, no, but I want to do it. So she was like, yeah, okay. And she just handled me her sari and I started pleating. And the way she was staring at my hands, I was like, oh God, Dolly, you're definitely doing something wrong. This is not what you're supposed to do. And you don't know how to pleat. You don't know how to drape. And God knows 10,000 things going on my head. And the moment I finished everything, I tucked and the whole drape was done. The first line she said that, Dolly, I have been into this industry for more than 2 decades. And I have seen nobody. And in the industry, we've got a lot of people, male drapers like those dadas who do draping. Yeah. We've got so many people who do draping, but the way you pleat is something different. And I've seen nobody do it like this. And the next line changed the entire game of my life. She said, why don't you take it up as a profession? And that is it. The first thing that came to my mind was like a pioneer, like a legend like Sridevi.
Yeah.
Talking about you, your art, your hand, knowing sari so well. If she is saying something like this, you should give it a second thought.
Yeah.
I came back to Calcutta and I said this whole thing to my dad, not my in-law, but my dad. Yeah. I said, Papa, I want to try this and I want to take it up as a profession. So Papa was like, beta, you can do it, but you have to understand one thing. A, we are into a Marwadi society. People will not be easy for you. Will you be able to handle this? I said, we will see. I want to try. I mean, it is a very difficult zone when a female who's not a CSCS MBA, who's not an engineer, doctor, or a chartered, or a doctor.
Yeah.
But she wants to do something and travel a road which is less travel. It's very, very difficult for a female.
Yeah.
But I still strongly believe that अगर आप में जोश है और जज्बा है और आप सच में कुछ करना चाहते हो तो there is nothing in this world which is impossible. And this is what I prove you right. Because I started draping by bringing a mannequin at my place. जिस दिन मैंने पापा को ये बात कही, पापा ने कहा कि बेटा, I give you 6 months. If you make something big out of it, we continue with this conversation. Otherwise, you're not talking about it. And I was like, okay, done. I got a mannequin at my place and मेरे को ध्यान है कि रात के 11 बजे जब सब सो जाते थे, मैं रात के 11 बजे से सुबह 2 बजे तक I used to do midnight 2 बजे तक I used to do draping.
Practicing.
सिर्फ practice. I kept on practicing every.
कितना time तक आप practice करते रहे ऐसे?
Literally 6 months.
Just practicing, nothing else.
मतलब जिसको हम कहते हैं ना कि आप अपने आप को क्वारंटाइन कर देते हो एक कमरे में, मैंने अपने आप को एक घर में क्वारंटाइन कर दिया था for 6 months. I said I am doing nothing but doing this because my period which was given to me was only 6 months and I had to prove myself. So during that 6 months, by about 4.5 months, I think, I had collected about 80 different styles on a mannequin. I made a good CD out of it. Us time pe wo CD chalti thi, so I made a CD out of it. And I sent it to this Limca record people saying that I can drape a sari in 80 different styles. So there was a gentleman who actually answered my call and he was like, what is this? My mother knows how to drape a sari and ye kya badi baat hai? I said, please, मैं आपको एक CD भेज रही हूँ, आप please उसको देखिएगा तो सही. And then उन्होंने देखा, they were mesmerized by the whole idea how Indian culture को हम इतने तरह से पहन सकते हैं, साड़ी को हम इतने तरह से डाल सकते हैं. फिर वो कैलकाटा आए, कैलकाटा में मैंने उनको लाइव सारा चीज दिखाया. And then I received my first certificate which says, it's somewhere here only, which says that Dolly Jain holds a Limca record for draping a sari in 80 different styles. And that was my stepping stone. That was the day when Dad said, this shows that you're fully dedicated. This will help you prove to the society that you're not joking, you're not making a fool out of it. It is a serious work, serious business. And then I think I just started moving step 1, step 2, step 3, and today I'm here.
How did you get like that first 6 months, 1 year, or whatever this thing, to people to pay for draping a sari? Because sari draping to matlab bachpan se mummy ko bhi dekha hai, usko bhi dekha hai. And especially I think I'm sure Marwadis mein ya jo bhi aap जो लोग ज्यादा साड़ी पहनते हैं उनके लिए it's very difficult to pay for something that you're already grown up with, right? How did you get people to pay for it?
So ये यूं हुआ कि जिस पीरियड में मैंने स्टार्ट किया था उस पीरियड को अगर आप याद करो तो आपको ध्यान आएगा कि उस पीरियड में literally everybody had almost stopped wearing sarees.
Yeah.
अभी साड़ी is back in fashion.
Yeah.
But if you see down the line, if I see 10 years down the line, I just feel that was a period where I could see my aunt or I could see someone who's a 50-year-old lady also wearing gowns. I attended a 50th anniversary and I walked in thinking that, okay, the lady is going to wear something beautiful like a Kanjivaram or maybe like a beautiful Zari Kota sari. But I saw her in a gown and I was like, oh my God, if this is going to be the future, sari is going to vanish one day. So I think the challenge was that the best part was that these people had stopped wearing sarees. The challenge was to bring them back into sarees and to ask them for paying me also.
Sure.
So I think I collaborated with one of the makeup artists and I said, you do the hair and makeup and I will do the draping. And it was not about money for me, but I still wanted them to pay so that they value my art. So I remember I charged them 250 rupees for a drape. I traveled down for an hour, came down for an hour, waited there for 2 hours. For 4 hours, I was there to earn that 250 rupees. But that 250 rupees had so much value because when I came back and I shared this, I always used to share all my experiences with my dad. So I told Papa that, Papa, itna mehnat karke ye 250 rupees, oh my God, itna time. So you know what my dad said? Bole, Papa ne kaha, beta, aap isko rupe mat dekho. Aap ye dekho ki aapko 4 घंटे में आपको फ्री की एक मैनिक्विन मिली जो कि रियल है. उसके पास डिफरेंट माइंडसेट है और डिफरेंट फैब्रिक है ड्रेप करने के लिए. सो आप जितने लोगों के पास जाओगे उतने लोगों का डिफरेंट माइंडसेट है, डिफरेंट कपड़े हैं, डिफरेंट ज्वेलरी है, डिफरेंट बॉडी लैंग्वेज है. सो व्हाट आर यू डूइंग? यू आर गेटिंग, इनफैक्ट यू शुड बी पेइंग देम बिकॉज यू आर प्रैक्टिसिंग ऑन देम. And then slowly from 250 to 500, because everybody, you know how it is when you do one good work, it just spreads word of mouth. You don't have to advertise yourself. So for all the heavy sarees, then people started, oh, why did you speak to Dolly? She's going to do it. She fixes saree in such a way it doesn't move. Okay, she'll charge. She's not charging too much. Just pay her this much. Just pay her this much. So it just started, with just 250 rupees. It just started happening on its own. I didn't have to actually crack my brains a lot into people coming up to pay me. But the best part was my thought behind draping was not making money, but practicing on so many females and understanding how you can. It's very difficult to convince a female, huh? But in my list, I've convinced every single female, and I've made every single female feel like, okay, they're the Aishwarya and they're the Katrina Kaif and Deepika Padukone. So I think that was a challenge, and I'm really happy I'm successful.
Very interesting, very interesting. But Dolly, एक बात बताइए, जब आप so you started doing your own business, ये वो आपने कभी खुद ने कुछ, though I'm sure you came from business family, right? But how difficult, what has been your learning process in terms of talking about money? Because I think one of the most difficult part for women entrepreneurs is to talk money, to quote your price, right? You started with small and slowly you obviously, whatever you quote, right? What is that? How did you learn that? And what is that learning process? उसमें क्या मतलब आप कैसे अपनी price को quote कर सकते हो of whatever product or services that you're offering?
Sometimes it is not what you do. Sometimes it is what the society teaches you.
Sure.
I did a wedding in Ramoji Film City. That was my first big wedding. I mean, in fact, first wedding that I did. So this lady called me up saying that, Dolly, we've got a wedding in our family. Will you be able to help that was my first wedding. I didn't know anything about what to carry in a wedding and how to do a wedding. So she said, we've got a couple of sister-in-laws and daughter-in-laws in our family. Would you mind coming to help them for draping? And I was like, oh, wow, this is an opportunity. Okay. And then I said yes. So she asked me, what will you charge? So I said 10,000 rupees. That was like, I'm talking about 17 years back almost. So I said 10,000 rupees. Okay. So because, from Raipur, I had got 10,000 rupees for 2 days. Then I said, okay, let me charge 10,000 rupees because it's going to be like one day, 10,000 rupees. It's going to be a good amount to be paid. Fine. So I went, I did their work for 3 days, and then they were like super happy. And I was happy because I was getting so many people to drape and so many new fabrics, and I was very excited about it. So when I came back, I was sitting in my flight and I was like, let me just feel how the 10,000 rupees, looks like when you've earned it. So I just sat down to count the money. It was 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I was like, oh my God, why is she paid 30,000 rupees? So I immediately called her up and I said, I think there is some, confusion, and you've changed an envelope. Mine was 10,000 rupees. You've paid me 30,000 rupees. The lady says, Dolly, that this is what is going to take you to another level, because we thought you're going to charge us 10,000 rupees per day. And that is how my rate was set as 10,000 rupees per day. Okay. That lady said, Dolly, I'm going to give you another wedding, but you are worth more than this. Please charge them 25,000 rupees per day. I said, okay. She gave me another wedding. She said, and I charged her 25,000. That was my second wedding that I did. And I charged her 25,000 rupees per day. So that was 75,000 rupees. After 2 weddings, I did a big shot. I mean, I can't name them, but I did a big shot. And she said, Dolly, why are you charging so less? 25,000 rupees. I mean, you should charge more. You're doing so much and you're doing so many people. You should charge 50. I'll pay you 50. And I was like, oh my God, who does this? I mean, when I'm telling you I'm going to take 25, you telling me you will pay 50. I said, okay, fine. So for 3 days, I was paid 150,000 rupees. So I never learned it. They actually taught me. I only was very true my profession, very true to my work. And I was fully dedicated to the thought that every single female whom I'm draping should be as comfortable even when she's coming back. So my process was only that. The rest, everything was done by the janta, by the people whom I draped, by all these lovely females. They actually set my price. So I think, and then it started growing, and that's how it is.
This is beautiful.
So I never had to speak the money language with anybody else.
I mean, I think it's a very good example of how women bring other women up. Maybe, trying to tell them this is what they are way more worth than what they think.
I was actually surprised when the female comes and tells me that Dolly, ये 25,000 rupees नहीं, हम आपको 50 देंगे because you're doing much more work than कि मैं आपको 25 pay करूँ. I was surprised, but then if it's all about what you do and your work speaks.
Sure.
If you speak a lot, your work will not be able to speak. So let the work do the talking rather than you doing it.
Very nice. And all this while you were all alone when you used to go for, or you'd started taking assistance and all of that stuff?
No, I was all alone. Even today, I think out of 100 weddings, if I'm doing, maybe 80 weddings, I travel all alone. Because I'm never happy with my assistant. I don't need anybody. From opening to my pins to packing my pins back, I think I feel warmth in doing all of this for myself. And I don't need anybody else.
But I think somewhere you started also training other girls for this.
I've started training other girls so that if my date is booked, I don't want to say a no to all the brides. So, instead of saying no to them, rather, bring up more hands so that you can send the girls and they can do, instead of you doing it, they can do the drapes and, make some money out of it.
Very nice. But tell me, so, you're doing almost 100 weddings in a year? Or more?
I can't say how many weddings that I do, but yeah, somewhere around 50 plus weddings, yes.
50 plus weddings, which means maybe double the number of days of traveling, right?
Yes, double. I mean, each wedding has about 3 days of work and 2 days of traveling. So each wedding takes away 5 days of mine. If we have a direct flight and an up and down, that's something different. But something like a Jodhpur or something like a Goa or something where we don't have a direct flight, then it is like a day before and a day after is based.
But Dolly, so I'm saying you're almost traveling for at least 200 days in a year. What happens? What happens back home? How are you managing? Like, how are you the helicopter mom who's been called for every small thing, who's updated, or you are like the girls are on? I mean, of course, your girls you're much older now, but when they were younger, how are you managing to keep up with their homeworks, to keep up with their mother-daughter time? वो सब कैसे होता है?
So there's a very small rule that I've made since my elder daughter was born. So this rule was like, no matter how busy we are, whether Naveen is traveling or I am traveling or whatever it is, no matter how busy we are, the me time has to be there in our family, whether any part of the time. So what we do is somewhere around 9 o'clock, 9:30 or 10ish, we all 4 of us, we used to sit together. It's a rule in our house. And if I am not there, it's on a video call. So 10 o'clock, we all have our dinner. We all sit, like now my daughter, one is in Pune, one is in Bangalore. But they all know 10 o'clock is our video call time. They all will be right in front of the screen to chat with us. So what we do is, we speak our heart out. Like suppose I have said something to Anya and she didn't like it. So instead of carrying on the grudge for tomorrow, we finish it today. That's a thing that I've taught my kids, that what it is, it's today, there is no tomorrow. If you're feeling sad about anything, express it now. If you're happy about anything, express it now, because I don't know whether there is a tomorrow. Whether there is a tomorrow for you, whether there is a tomorrow for me, I don't know. So I know that today is mine. I am here. So why don't we cherish that moment? So I think this rule has been in my house for almost 23 years now.
Mm-hmm.
When Ratika was small, when she was like just born, I used to tell my husband, the whole day you're busy, but at least sit with your daughters for at least half an hour, play with her, do that father-daughter thing that, I should just feel that, that's how you connect. So this is one thing that I do. And we've got a habit of writing notes and keeping it everywhere. So we all remember what is it like. Everybody who needs something, they will just write it on a board and we'll all keep sticking it. So everybody who's going through that board knows that these things have to be bought from the market, or this plumber has to be informed. So we've got a habit of writing it up. So the whiteboard is doing all my job. So when I am leaving, I write a note for my kids. This has to be taken care. And study-wise, I think my kids, I stopped teaching them when they were in class 4.
Okay.
I think my kids have learned it themselves. They were tuition teachers, but I never took care of their studies or anything, because actually I didn't want to be partially involved. Either you be completely involved or you're not involved, because then you actually make a khichdi out of it. So मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मेरे बच्चे को जो ट्यूशन टीचर है वो ज्यादा समझती थी उनके पढ़ाई को लेके. So I kept the entire responsibility of the education part on the tuition teachers, and the others where I was managing.
But tell me, so I'm a mother to a 6-year-old, right? And there is this constant thing of, you have to take the child to this class, that class, besides the school, right? And I can't do that because I've got work. I can't, pick her, drop her. And there are a lot of times I have to take those decisions. I can't. What is your thought process on that? As a working mother, of course, you can't take your child to those 4 different things, 4 different classes. How do you compensate on that to ensure that the child is still her growth or, education still taken care of? I mean, besides the school.
I have been lucky because I had a nanny for both my kids. So, and they were very, very good Bengali staffs that I had. So I have been very lucky. So I used to just make a routine for the kids, and this has to be taken care, and just monitor on phone. I think this is one thing that you have to be on your toes, because a mother is never relaxed. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to be on your toes. You have to keep monitoring. Acha, bacha ne ye khaya? Has she gone to the class? What did? Even though the staff is telling you everything, but you need to monitor and tell them, acha, class mein kya hua? And you need to ask your kids also, so that the kids also feel that mama is asking us, even though, it's not going to make a huge difference, but then it makes a difference to the kid that they know that mom knows everything. So I think I only kept monitoring things over the phone call. The rest, I think God has been very kind to me that I had certain kind of a staff. And then I think my mother-in-law, since she had 4 kids and they were like so well brought up, that I think my mother-in-law taught me a lot of things, that, okay, do this here. If you think there are time constraints here, wake up an hour before, do this. There are a lot of things that I learned from her. So I think, you should all look at the way they have brought up their kids and learn from them. Although they didn't send the kids to so many classes and everything, इतना कुछ था ही नहीं जितना अभी है. उस टाइम पे तो बच्चे स्कूल चले जाए, स्कूल से घर आ जाए, and that is it. That was the only thing that they did. But अभी के टाइम में where music is equally important, dance is equally important, then you have this debate classes, handwriting classes, and I don't know what, so many classes going on. But what I think is, instead of वो बोलते हैं ना, भीड़ के साथ दौड़ने से अच्छा है आप प्लान करो. What is that your kid is interested in? It's not about what you are interested in. I always feel कि हम वो चीज करना शुरू कर देते हैं जहाँ पे हम देखते हैं कि अच्छा उसका बच्चा तो डांस क्लास जा रहा है, वो बैले सीख रहा है, सालसा नहीं सीख रहा, तो हम बैले सिखाएंगे. आपको बैले सिखाने से कोई काम नहीं आएगा. What you need to understand is your kid willing to do it or not? So my kids never wanted to learn music. Never. So the music class was out in the list. Now my kid, Ratika, wanted to do dance. Anya wanted to do drawing. So for drawing, instead of sending her, I started calling the sir home. And dance, obviously, Ratika was going. So, somewhere I could really manage it quite well. So it just happened well.
So in all of this, between constant traveling, managing the house, managing your business, because now with the scale that you're operating at, there are a lot of other things from an operations perspective also that you have to devote time, finances, etc., etc. Where does time for yourself come आप अपने आप को कितना, एंड व्हाट इज योर टाइम, दैट व्हाट द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ जो अभी हम मी टाइम की बात करते हैं, आपके लिए कितना टाइम निकाल पाते खुद के लिए, और आप क्या करते हो उस चीज में? Like, how do you ensure that that is your me time?
The time that I'm traveling in my flight, the time that I'm traveling on road, where I'm quiet, seeing the nature, admiring the nature, the time that I'm draping, I think that's my me time. Every time I'm draping, that's me time for me, because I enjoy doing it. Me time is something you want to do when you enjoy doing it. So I think that is it. And also I feel if I wouldn't have been a draper, I would have been a farmer, or I would have been a gardener, because I have so many plants, and I spend a lot of my time, if I'm at home, I spend a lot of my time in my garden.
So gardening,
yeah. So gardening is something. But I'm very happy doing draping, in between, juggling between draping, gardening.
Interesting. Tell me, and the last question, so between kids and all of that stuff, how do you manage the time between your husband and yourself? Because I think like I often feel this in this huge list of priorities between work and child and home and parents and all of that. I think the one person who really gets this thing is your partner. Yeah, like it's literally like operational. How do you figure that because it's he's actually technically the support system behind whatever you're doing. How do you figure that? How do you prioritize that? Or is it even a priority, or you're like, no, it's okay, it's part of things you're doing?
It is a priority. When you're traveling almost 20 days in a month and your husband is neglected, because for kids you sit around and you tell, अच्छा बच्चा बताओ आपने क्या किया, आपने क्या खाया, आपका कैसे मन लग रहा है, are you missing mama, and all of those प्यारा बात you're doing. But with the husband, okay, I'll call you back later, okay, I'm busy in work. So this doesn't happen. Then I somehow feel that the relation gets affected a lot.
Yeah.
So what I do is I make it sure that whenever I have time, whenever I can speak to him for long hours, I do video call. I video call him and I speak to him. Any which ways, when I'm in my hotel room and doing nothing, waiting or whatever it is, मेरा video call हमेशा चालू रहता है, even if I'm walking around or doing anything. So at least Naveen knows that, okay, she's packing, okay, she's getting down for her airport, or now she's ready for her work. So I think ये छोटी-छोटी जो टाइम होती है ना in between, जहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि बात कर लेंगे, अरे रात में बात कर लेंगे. रात और दिन कुछ नहीं होता. अगर आपको जब टाइम मिले, make your husband feel so special. Make your husband feel like every time that I enter a hotel room, the first thing I will do is I'll video call Naveen and I'll show him my room. I will take him to the balcony and I'll show him the outside view. And I'll make him feel that even if you are not traveling with me, you are with me.
Sure.
So these little things, I think if you just do, they will never feel that they are neglected, because they are part of your travel journey.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it equally goes with your partner also. If he is in a profession which is where you're constantly traveling, he can probably do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, see, I have been doing this and we both have been sharing a very healthy relationship. It's been 26 years, in fact, going to be 27 years.
Congratulations.
And I don't have any complaint, and we don't have any grudges with each other. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Okay, the last part of this podcast. Dolly, I want you to tell me, so there are so many women who are homemakers, who want to do something. मुझे कुछ करना है, पर मुझे पता नहीं है क्या करना है, मुझे बहुत support नहीं है, और मैं कैसे करूं? What is that answer? And I keep getting this question a lot often from women around me. I of course always tell them to start small or whatever. But what is your take on this thing? Because you've actually gone through that journey.
See, सबसे पहले तो ये आपको डिसाइड करना है कि आपको क्या करना है. कोई और अगर डिसाइड करके आपको देगा ना कि आप ये करो, तो then where are you in the scene? ये तो वही बात हो गई ना, आपकी मदर इन लॉ या आपकी फादर इन लॉ या द सोसाइटी हैज टोल्ड यू टू डू दिस, फिर आपने कहाँ कुछ किया. सो सबसे पहला चीज है फॉर यू टू डिसाइड व्हाट यू वांट टू डू, whether you want to do or not, what you want to do, and how you want to do. There is something that keeps coming towards me is people asking me, मेरे पास तो टाइम ही नहीं, मैं तो दिन भर बच्चों के बीच में, पति के बीच में, सासू के बीच में, and this के बीच में. I understand all of that and we all have gone through. आप कुछ स्पेशल नहीं हो, मैं कोई स्पेशल नहीं हूँ. दैट गॉड हैज गिवन मी 48 आवर्स और मेरे पास 24 आवर्स फैमिली के लिए और 24 आवर्स में काम कर, ऐसा तो नहीं है. आप कहाँ गलत हो रहे हैं मैं आपको बताती हूँ. मेरे पास भी 24 घंटे थे, 24 आवर्स थे, आपके पास भी वही है. मैंने भी अपने बच्चे को, मेरी 2 बच्चे हैं, मेरे मदर इन लॉ फादर इन लॉ है. आई हैव टेकन केयर, आई हैव बीन एन आदर्श बहू, आई हैव टेकन केयर ऑफ माय हस्बैंड, I have taken care of my house. I am a very finicky person when it comes to keeping things organized. So that way is also everything. The one thing that I did, which you didn't do, was out of that 24 hours, take out 1 hour for yourself. सिर्फ 1 घंटा. उस 1 घंटे में, और वो आप आराम से निकाल सकते हो क्योंकि 23 घंटे तो आप काम नहीं कर रहे हो. अगर आप प्लान करो तो आप 23 घंटे काम नहीं कर रहे हो. उसमें से आप 1 घंटा अपने लिए निकाला. उस 1 घंटे में आप सिर्फ वो करो जो आपको करने का मन है. वेदर आपको मे बी यू आर वेरी गुड इन मेकिंग पिकल्स, वेदर यू आर मेकिंग वेरी गुड इन एम्ब्रॉयडरी, वेदर यू आर गुड इन सिंगिंग, वेदर यू आर गुड इन राइटिंग, रीडिंग, एनीथिंग. उस 1 घंटे में आप सिर्फ वो करोगे जो आपको पसंद है. मैंने वही किया. 11 बजे जब पूरे घर का काम खत्म हो जाता था, बच्चे सो जाते थे, हस्बैंड सो जाते थे, तब मैं 11 बजे रात में ड्रेपिंग शुरू करती थी. मैंने अपनी फैमिली लाइफ को नहीं डिस्टर्ब किया. मैंने तब शुरू किया था जब सब शांत थे, सब सो गए थे, जिस मेरी जरूरत किसी को नहीं थी. तब मैंने वो मी टाइम निकाला और मैंने प्रैक्टिस शुरू किया. आपको भी वही करना है. 1 घंटा आपको अपने उस काम के लिए निकालना है. मे बी आपको पढ़ना बहुत पसंद है और आपको स्टोरी सुनाना बहुत पसंद है. आज के टाइम पे मेरी जैसी मम्मी जिसको स्टोरी बच्चों को नरेट करने के लिए टाइम ही नहीं है, आपका वेबसाइट और आपका इंस्टाग्राम अकाउंट में अगर आप इस तरह से स्टोरी डालो तो आप सोचो कितना हेल्प करेगा. हम तो बोल ही नहीं सकते इस तरह से स्टोरी जिस तरह से मे बी आप नरेट कर सको. मेरे बच्चों के लिए मैं रोज वो एक स्टोरी लगाऊं और मेरा बच्चा उससे खुश हो जाए, तो देयर इज नथिंग लाइक इट. मे बी दैट इज एन आर्ट दैट यू हैव इन यू एंड यू डोंट इवन नो अबाउट इट. So I think just give yourself that 1 hour space time and just see how you excel into it. That is very, very important. Once you know what you have to do, then start feeding this to your family. Start telling them this to your family, telling them that I will definitely take care of everything, but you all have to take a little of my responsibility so that I can take 1 घंटा तो आपको मिल ही रहा था, आपको 1 घंटा और मिलना शुरू हो जाएगा जब आप उनको थोड़ी थोड़ी अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने दें. Instead of doing keeping the clothes and setting up the routine and bringing everything down for your kids, tell your kids, I have work, this is your work, you do it. So आपने वहां पे आधा घंटा आराम से सेव कर लिया. So organizing these little things in the runway, what are you doing? You're actually training your bacha, training your family, training your husband. You're doing all of this. I mean, it's so important for you. When I got married, I remember Naveen was like, अच्छा मेरी आयरन हो गई क्या कपड़े? अच्छा मेरा नाश्ता बन गया क्या? अच्छा मेरा I said, what is this going on? अच्छा मेरा ये हो गया, अच्छा मेरा ये हो गया. I said, before marriage, ये अच्छा अच्छा किसको बोलते थे तो? Did you tell this to your mother? So, slowly then the husband start understanding that, okay, she also has work. I also have work. Okay, then when I need to get this done, let me do it. So she also has her time. So that's it.
It's equally the partner also.
Yeah. It is very, very easy. We complicate it. Every time, नहीं हमारे पास टाइम नहीं, हम कुछ नहीं, हम घर संभाल ले, यही बहुत बड़ी बात है. अच्छा, और मैं उन लोगों को भी बताना चाहती हूँ जो घर का काम करते हैं ना, आपको तो हैट्स ऑफ है. Don't feel sad because you're a homemaker. Don't let others make you feel down that you're a homemaker. You are much better than what I am doing, because it's a task. It is not easy. It's a task to do it. Managing home is like managing your own space,
organization.
It's difficult. It's not an easy job. I mean, I understand you're not paid for it. You're not paid for it. You're not even thanked for it. That is where I feel very sad, that you are a homemaker. You're not thanked for it. Nobody comes up to you and say, thank you, Mama, you've organized everything for me, or thank you for the meal that you've done. Thank you for the peacefulness that is there in the home. Nobody comes and says you this, but you will be rewarded. You reward yourself. Don't let anybody else reward you. आप किसी और का इंतजार क्यों करते हैं? आप अपने आप को खुद ही रिवॉर्ड कर दीजिए ना. You know?
Very nice. I think बहुत छोटी सी simple सी चीज है, but most of the things that you've actually explained are very basic things, but we don't think about them. And as women, I think it's very, very important now in an age which is where all of us are so exposed कि हम उन छोटी-छोटी चीजों को we can't kind of start implementing to make our lives better rather than waiting for somebody else to kind of come and make our lives better. But more than that, Dolly, thank you so much for this conversation. I think it was insightful, but more than insightful, I think it was empowering to hear your journey, to talk about small things that kind of brought you here. And thank you for inspiring so many women, across the country, not just to wear more sarees, but also to drape and, kind of find your own niche.
Thank you so much. In fact, sometimes it's so good to speak your heart out to everybody who wants to actually listen to what is the making of Dolly Jain. It's really nice to talk your heart out. And thank you for giving me an opportunity. It was so sweet interacting and getting my special hours of my life to you.
It was my pleasure. And I'm sure a lot of women and men will get inspired by your story to, I think, find their niche and to enjoy what they're doing. That's, I think, the most important. Thank you so much, Dolly.
If you've enjoyed this conversation, please make sure you hit the like button, comment what was your favorite part, and also subscribe to the channel. We have lots of fantastic people coming up. This podcast is available on your podcast app by the name Questions I Wanted to Ask. You can also follow me on social media for more updates, short format content. Links will be in the description.